The Secretary of the Treasury declared,
I see nothing in the present situation that warrants pessimism.
That was Black Thursday, but it was not the worst.
The time came when the ticker tape in the broker's office told a new story. It was panic. 16.5 million shares of stock sold in a single day. Sold hopelessly, desperate, at any price.
Now is the time to buy. I hope you have plenty of the wherewithal.
That's a long time ago, and most people, it's just a word, 1929. It's a date. But to me, it was vivid, and I learned a lot. I lost more than a half of what I had, and then started over again. That was the only losing year I ever had, was 1929.
The one game of all games that really requires study before making a play is the one he goes into without his usual highly intelligent preliminary and precautionary doubts. He will risk half his fortune in the stock market with less reflection than he devotes to the selection of a medium-priced automobile. This matter of tape reading is not so complicated as it appears. Of course, you need experience, but it is even more important to keep certain fundamentals in mind. To read the tape is not to have your fortune told. The tape does not tell you how much you will surely be worth next Thursday at 1:35 p.m. The object of reading the tape is to ascertain first how, and next when to trade. That is, whether it is wiser to buy than to sell. It works exactly the same for stocks as for cotton or wheat or corn or oats. You watch the market, that is, the course of prices as recorded by the tape, with one object: to determine the direction, that is, the price tendency. Prices, we know, will move either up or down according to the resistance they encounter. For purposes of easy explanation, we will say that prices, like everything else, move along the line of least resistance. They will do whatever comes easiest. Therefore, they will go up if there is less resistance to an advance than to a decline, and vice versa. Nobody should be puzzled as to whether a market is a bull or bear market after it fairly starts. The trend is evident to a man who has an open mind and reasonably clear sight, for it is never wise for a speculator to fit his facts to his theories. Such a man will, or ought to, know whether it is a bull or bear market. And if he knows that, he knows whether to buy or to sell. It is therefore at the very inception of the movement that a man needs to know whether to buy or to sell. Let us say, for example, that the market, as it usually does in those between swings times, fluctuates within a range of 10 points, up to 130 and down to 120. It may look very weak at the bottom, or on the way up after a rise of 8 or 10 points, it may look as strong as anything. A man ought not to be led into trading by tokens. He should wait until the tape tells him that the time is ripe. As a matter of fact, millions upon millions of dollars have been lost by men who bought stocks because they looked cheap, or sold them because they looked dear. The speculator is not an investor. His object is not to secure a steady return on his money at a good rate of interest, but to profit by either a rise or a fall in the price of whatever he may be speculating in. Therefore, the thing to determine is the speculative line of least resistance at the moment of trading, and what he should wait for is the moment when that line defines itself, because that is his signal to get busy. Reading the tape merely enables him to see that at 1:30 the selling has been stronger than the buying, and a reaction in the price logically followed. Up to the point where the selling prevailed over the buying, superficial students of the tape may conclude that the price is not going to stop short of 150, and they buy. But after the reaction begins, they hold on or sell out at a small loss, or they go short and talk bearish. But at 120, there is stronger resistance to the decline. The buying prevails over the selling. There is a rally and the shorts cover. The public is so often whipsawed that one marvels at their persistence in not learning their lesson. Eventually, something happens that increases the power of either the upward or the downward force, and the point of greatest resistance moves up or down. That is, the buying at 130 will for the first time be stronger than the selling, or the selling at 120 be stronger than the buying. the price will break through the old barrier or movement limit and go on. As a rule, there is always a crowd of traders who are short at 120 because it looks so weak, or long at 130 because it looks so strong. And when the market goes against them, they are forced, after a while, either to change their minds and turn, or to close out. In either event, they help to define even more clearly the price line of least resistance. Thus, the intelligent trader who has patiently waited to determine this line will enlist the aid of fundamental trade conditions, and also of the force of the trading of that part of the community that happened to guess wrong, and must now rectify mistakes. Such corrections tend to push prices along the line of least resistance. And right here, I will say that though I do not give it as a mathematical certainty or as an axiom of speculation, my experience has been that accidents, that is, the unexpected or unforeseen, have always helped me in my market position, whenever the latter has been based upon my determination of the line of least resistance. Do you remember that Union Pacific episode at Saratoga that I told you about? Well, I was long because I found out that the line of least resistance was upward. I should have stayed long, instead of letting my broker tell me